Hello and welcome back to another video. Today's topic is vocabulary acquisition. First of all, let us talk about where you can encounter new vocabulary words. So I'm not even going to talk about textbooks, but instead other ways that you can acquire vocabulary, and then after that, how you can retain the new words you have learned. First way you can get new vocabulary is, obviously I think everybody knows this tip, watching movies, watching dramas, TV shows, listening to the radio, and listening to music. So those all fall under immersion. Now, if you are listening and not really seeing the words, so that would be maybe watching a show without subtitles or listening to the radio, you might hear a word you don't know and you don't know how to write it down or what it is spelled like. What you can do is try and write it the way you think it should be spelled, then do a Google search or a search on one of your target language's country's search engine. Alternatively, you can search on a dictionary app or even Google Translate, type in the word and it should autocorrect it to the correct spelling. Apart from finding the meaning online after you've done that, you can also do an image search online and you can see what pictures pop up for that specific word. Also to help you understand a bit more in depth what that word really means. I used to listen to this podcast called Hikibiki, hkbk.fm. It's a Japanese podcast. Unfortunately, earlier this year they did their very last episode, but they have like 200 episodes or something going back a few years. So if you're learning Japanese, you can definitely check them out. I love them a lot. Anyway, so I used to listen to their podcast while working, and every now and then, if there was a word I don't understand, I would listen to it and write it down how I think it should be written down, and then translate that, and there would be my new words without a textbook. The other thing you can do is by seeing the word and writing it down. So what I've shown in a lot of my previous videos is like one of my favorite Korean books. I would underline the word that I'm learning and write its meaning above it so I can learn the word in context. It's always better to learn a new vocabulary word in context than it is to look at long word lists and just learn singular words. You remember a sentence like, "Where is the bathroom?" a lot faster than you do just the word where and bathroom, right? That's why phrase books are so useful when you go traveling. You don't learn a bunch of single words, you learn sentences. So on that note, learning a word in context from the book is a great idea. Another way you can learn words in context is by similarly watching TV shows, but specifically watching shows that have subtitles in your target language. Examples are Korean variety shows. When somebody says something funny or when there's a keyword, the word or the sentence will pop up on the screen, like to emphasize what the person just said. And it's really great because you can read the word and you don't need to guess its spelling, and also you learn it in context. But you must make sure to write that down or type it in your phone and make sure to use it, otherwise you're gonna forget it. If only everyone had photographic memories. Okay, let us look at vocabulary memorization techniques. Number 1, labeling. What you can do is go around your apartment or your room and stick little labels on everything. If you are learning Korean, you will stick a sticker on your chair that says 의자, and sopa on your sofa, and I don't know, 책 on your books. You can label everything. The main point here is being immersed and seeing these words all the time. It's sort of the same concept as changing your phone language to another language, because you will be seeing it the whole time. You just mustn't get lazy when you use your phone in a different language, because you're so used to with muscle memory and the layout of apps and stuff that you're used to knowing where to click, but you don't actually read it in a different language. If you can't read it, if it's like in Chinese characters or kanji, write it down and look it up. Don't just let it go because you know what it means but don't know how to say it. I do that a lot. I should talk to myself. Next technique that I want to talk about is the gold list method. I'm not going to go in too much depth because there's a lot about it online, but basically it is making a long list of words on one side of a page, and I might be wrong, I haven't looked at it for a while, leaving it for a few days and then going back to the list and seeing how much you remember. I don't personally like that method because it takes the space between learning the word and reviewing it takes very long. But apparently a lot of polyglots use it and it is proven to help words stick into your long-term memory. Next, we're going to talk about shopping lists and diaries and planners. I always write my shopping list in a different language. especially if I need to buy something completely new, like, I don't know, asparagus, and I don't know that word, for example. I will look it up and make sure to write asparagus on my list. It'll force me to remember the word, because if I go to the shop and I don't know what I wrote there, I'm doomed. So making shopping lists is a great way to reinforce and remember vocab words. Similarly, you can use your diary or planner and change it into your target language planner. If you have a meeting, for example, instead of writing meeting in English or your native language, you could write it in your target language, like moim in Korean or kaigi in Japanese. Rather, write it in the other language so you get used to using this language on a daily basis. What I also like to do is write notes, like if I'm taking notes in a lecture or somebody is giving a speech or whatnot. Anytime you have to take a lot of notes, I like to throw in other languages in there, mainly because it's so fast to write in a language other than English. For example, if you look at the Chinese character ming, which means name, or namae in Japanese, or myeong in Korean, it all relates to names, or the counter for people in Korean, myeong. It is a lot faster to write it in Chinese or Korean than it is to write N-A-M-E in English. So if I just need to write this person's name was, then I would just put Ming character and then write their name. I work in the field of design, and a word I have to write a lot is design. Instead of writing D-E-S-I-G-N, I would write diget in Korean. Now why I do that is the word for design in Korean is 디자인. Starts with a diget, a D, and then 자인, design, right? So I just kind of shorten it and take the diget and the ji, plop it together, and that's my own made-up word for design. I've used this method a lot in university, especially studying for tests when I had to take a lot of notes. And my fellow students did not really like it because they would ask me if they could borrow my notes, and I said sure, and they couldn't read half of it, so sorry. I forgot to talk about flashcards, sorry. Flashcards, I don't really like them unless I'm very, very pressured for time to learn certain words, where I have to go through repetition in a short period. I don't know, they work, just not my favorite way of learning. Anyways, so obviously I think you know how to make a flashcard. You write the word on the one side and the meaning or the pronunciation or the usage of the word on the other side, and you go through them. What you can do with flashcards though is make 3 piles. One is words you already know. So once you've got the word down, put it away in a pile, review it later. The other pile would be words to review. So if you keep forgetting it, or if you get it wrong a few times, put it in the review pile. And your last pile should be words you still need to learn. If you look at it and you're like, I have no idea what that is, it goes in the to learn pile. And eventually, working through your flashcards, they should all go in the done pile. What a great sense of accomplishment. Alrighty, also, sorry, yes, if you don't like paper, or if you want to save paper, you can use apps like Anki, which is like a digital flashcard app. And I think a lot of people use Quizlet as well for vocab, so you can look into those. Alright, I am done now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other vocabulary acquisition tips, please comment them below. And check out my social media if you want to get in contact with me. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!